While traditional paths may seem harder to find, that also means that you may learn sooner than most generations the hard lesson that you must always make the path for yourself. There is no secret society out there that will tap you on the shoulder one night and show you the way. Because the true secret is, your life will not be defined by the society that we have left you. To paraphrase Robert Bolt, society has no more idea of what you are than you do, because ultimately, it has only your brains to think with. Every generation must define itself, and so make the world that suits itself. So, if you must find your own path, and we have left you no easy path, then decide now to choose the hard path that leads to the life and the world that you want.
Essentially, and I would say this to anybody, is that, you know, it's really, it's easy to embrace hopelessness when things seem insurmountable. And yet, it's actually just a matter of time until all of the elements come together for things to be all right. I mean, I believe that, you know, most difficult situations will resolve themselves if you are persistent and if you don't give up entirely. And that's what I never did. I never gave up.
Every pursuit, no matter how glamorous it may seem, no matter how exciting it feels to you, no matter how much you feel like you were born to do it, comes with a shit sandwich. And so the question is not, what do I love? The question is, what do I love so much that I don't mind eating the shit sandwich that comes along with that thing? So for me, in my life, writing is the thing that I love. And the shit sandwich was the 7 years that I was not getting published. So if you go into this thing thinking, if I follow my bliss, and I live my dream, and I stand in my truth, then everything will be great. It doesn't mean everything will be great. It just means at the end of the day, when you check in with yourself and you go, in the end, on the balance, is this still better than not doing it? And the answer is still, yeah, this thing is still better than not doing it, then you're on the right path.
I want to talk about risk. As a guiding principle, life shrinks and life expands in direct proportion to your willingness to assume risk. Yeah, I've made some really stupid decisions in my career for my entire career. On a broad plane, they've all worked out. Every time I've quit my jobs, which I've done every time I've had a job, people that I trust most, the people that I love, all advised against it. My dad told me not to move to New York City because it was such a risk. And every time I took these bigger risks, the opportunity for a larger payout was always there. Life is like this super temporary, mega fragile thing. You only get like a nugget of time to really pursue the things you care about. And my rule is that the right time is always right now. To put a little meat on these bones, this new company that I don't really talk about, this new company is the biggest risk I've ever taken. I took 5 years of my life to build my advertising career, and I made like a lot of money. I've been doing really great. Look at my YouTube channel, go all the way back. The last branded content thing you'll see was in February of 2014. I ditched it all to pursue something I knew nothing about, this huge risk. And I did it at a time when my wife was pregnant and there was all of this vulnerability and all this scariness in my life. And even now, my dad said, Casey, that's crazy. You've got a good thing, don't let it go. But I know that like someday I won't be able to do this. I know that the time is now. The right time is always now. So I had to do it. That's how I feel about risk in general. And that's what the struggle has always been for me, is like identifying risk, identifying fear, and then just smashing through it. Because a fear is looking back and wishing that I had done these things. The most dangerous thing you can do in your career, The most dangerous thing you can do in life is play it safe.
Find yourself in job and job and job, and you want to do great work in the world. You're giving it your best, but some little voice inside is saying, this isn't me. This isn't me. And I kept having that voice until finally I left the corporate world and started my own business.
End up doing what you planned on doing, and you're young, and it's not written in blood that you're gonna make it, and you move from house to house because you ran away from home at 17. You move from place to place with family members and friends and everything, trying to do music, and then you end up doing it. Then you end up on the Forbes list and working with all the people that inspired you, like Ice Cube and the Doors and Roger Troutman, and you know, it's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? So that was the most monumental to me.
The same criticism that they get for doing anything outside of what's considered normal, that goes for anybody that tries anything outside of what's normal. And I think people need to realize that people are gonna talk shit, they're gonna criticize, but what's more important? What's more important is that you do what it is you think you need to do instead of changing your path for everybody else's happiness. Because the reality is the people who judge you on doing anything different are the same people who can't do it themselves. And I feel like so many people get so wrapped up into what other people think that they ruin their entire lives living a life that they don't even want to live. Everybody's got to find their own path, and you have to realize that when you get on that path, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna have bad fuck-ups, like really bad. But as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to take those as lessons about, and you're smart enough to not make those same mistakes over and over and over again, there's really nothing that you can't do.
Life is too short, and I feel like everyone needs to live, love, and laugh, and understand, like, you know, you're constantly evolving. Things are constantly changing, things are constantly putting people in a position where they can get better and do better. We're doing a lot better. A lot better. You're gonna have bumps in the road. You're gonna have things that happen that make you have a hiccup and question, are we doing better? But that's life. That's the course of life. But you know, I'm a positive person. I'm a realistic and positive person. So I see where we are. I'm happy with where we are, and I know where we can be 5 or 10 years from now. It can continue to get better and grow.